everyone. We'll get started in just a moment. Hi, Dot. Good morning. Warhammer has a lot of characters that are named shit like Brother Alistair Crowleyus or whatever. I do want some macaroni. Yes, please. Big fan of macaroni. Dot, I made a really yummy remoulade sauce the other day. With the pickles and whatnot. Put it on some chicken. It was very good. Well, yay. Welcome to chat, hamster lover. We're probably going to talk about magic a little bit. Philosophy Friday. Made some okay chili and remembered to put it in a Tupperware instead of just the pot so I don't end up killing myself with the bacteria. Very important. Very important. I had a roommate a while back who would he'd get one of those big slow cookers, like one of those big electric slow cookers, and he'd make like a really yummy looking soup in it, but then he would heat it up and then turn it off and then let it sit out for like several hours completely cold, and then when he was hungry he'd come out and turn it on. He'd wait a couple minutes for it to get hot and then he'd make himself a bowl. I was like, buddy, you can't do that. You're gonna get all sort of tummy troubles doing that. Not even in the fridge. You just left it in the slow cooker. Let it congeal. If I eat the bacteria, then I get stronger. That's true, transdimensional shambler. Transdimensional shambler. Slow cooking on a geological scale. I remember watching some show about how cavemen's cooked their shit, and a lot of it was using river mud, just packing a whole ass fish in river mud and then burying that underneath the cinders of the fire that you made, wrapped in banana leaves and shit, and then coming back 48 hours later and cracking that shit open. And it looked like the juiciest, yummiest fish I've ever seen. It looked like a great idea. I want to try that so bad. I'm not allowed to start fires in my backyard, though. Clay-baked trout looks yummy as fuck. Dude, if you forget where you buried the fish, it's over. The clan is never gonna let you collect nuts and berries anymore. You gotta sit around and watch the animals because you're stupid. I don't think we evolved to get IBS. Stomachs are insanely complicated things. We know a lot about nutritional science, but we don't really know how digestion works. We have vague ideas, but it's an insanely complicated chemical process. I am unsurprised that people get IBS. I think it's kind of insane that digestion works at all. Would you like a co-host? Yeah, jump on, Candy. We'll have a little friend. Why not?
Hello.
Hi, Candy. Here, I'll stream my game so you can see.
Okay.
Everyone say hi to Candy.
Hi, Candy.
Dr. Candy, what can you tell us about Western esotericism? Yeah, now that we've had Dr. Shannon Grimes on, it's time for a real celebrity, like my friend Candy.
Everybody know me. Everybody like me.
Everybody know and love Candy. Say hi to Candy.
Hi, Candy. Hi, chat.
Guess where we are today? It's Warframe.
Ooh, this is a true pervert's game.
It's the patient gamer's game. So, yes, we are doing philosophy today, but for the Warframe heads in chat, what we're doing is we're going to be grinding for Octavia Neuros, which requires me being in a mission for 20 minutes doing fucking Deimos survival. So, given that these... Oh, jeez. Given that these streams are usually just me hanging out for 2 hours and talking about shit, we can get a whole 6 rounds of this done. So everyone buckle the fuck in. We got shit to talk about.
Yippee!
Yippee! So, why don't we just jump right in here? The thing I wanted to talk about, my friend Candy, one of the sections I'm writing for the book right now, it's going to be maybe the second, like, small section. I've done all the history bits. The history bits have a good solid skeleton for them. So now I get to do the fun part and go through and, like, write all the little mini essays that are conceivably things that I could talk about on Tumblr. You know, little, like, 500 to 1,000 word, like, 500 to 1,000 word video essays and shit. Or not video essays, just essays. And the second one of...
snack things that you post, right?
Yeah. This is, like, the more complete version of that.
Yeah.
And so... Oh, this is a bit loud on my end. Hang on.
They're like fruit snacks to me because whenever you post them, I get to rip open the packaging and see what little treats are in there.
Right. So today I wanted to go over a short history of histories of magic. Like, the idea of magic as a coherent whole, like as an intellectual tradition, is very recent. The idea that, like, there's a tradition of magic and magic as like a distinct thing that goes back to antiquity was actually first defined in the fucking 1830s. It's that recent, yeah. So
it took people that long to, like, classify esoteric shit as magic?
So the first guy to do it was a one of the first anthropologists ever, actually, a guy named I forget what his initials are, but it's James G. Fraser. I think it's J.G. Fraser, who wrote a book called The Golden Bough, which is basically a study of the mythologies of Europe. Like, it's basically him, like, reading different mythologies and doing compare and contrast. Like, what's the same across cultures, what's different, what can we learn about the cultures based on their mythologies and stuff like that. And the trouble with stuff like that is that a lot of the stories he's collecting are from before Christianity shows up. Which means, like, okay, if you got Christianity or Judaism or Islam in a society, it's a little more easy to determine what's magic and what's not, because there's, like, official rules based on what is considered magic, and you have, like, a whole priestly class that can debate as to what's magic.
There are guys around to make that distinction, right?
And they have a vested clerical interest in, like, defining magic, because that's what...
Sure, that's, like, part of their job and belief system, right?
Well, like, look at Judaism, right? Basically the first religion to actually do this. As a monotheist religion, you can't really have people worshiping other gods, and so a lot of what gets called magic is just, like, people bringing other gods before you. You know, it's in the Ten Commandments. That's one of the OG rules.
It can't be the shit that we're doing. It can't be the god that we believe in, so it's gotta be some other shit.
Oh, yeah. Although, there are relics in the Talmud of, like, like references to rabbis doing things that are magic, and it's like that's fine because it's through Hashem, right? Like this version of it is fine
Does that
because
have to do with golems? I don't know anything about that.
I don't know what I like. I'm sure you could write a lot about like what potentially is happening with golems, but no, this is like Bronze Age stuff. We're talking like we're talking
Far
like
newer, I'm sure.
yeah. Okay, it's okay. You can't just do magic because you're a rabbi, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are specific ways that you can do magic as a rabbi that are like permissible by biblical law, but that like they did not use the term magic, right? Like the ancient Jewish jurisprudence did not really call stuff magic until they got Hellenized, at which point, or like started talking to the Hellenes, the Greek people. At which point they learned the term magos, which is the root of our modern definition of magic. But, okay, James G. Frazier was not interested in, like, Talmudic jurisprudence around definitions of magic. He didn't care. He was interested in what, like, pre-Jewish, like, Bronze Age civilizations conceptualized as magic. And the trouble with that, the real trouble with that, is that it requires drawing a delineation between magic, religion, and science, right? You got to have a hard line between those things. And that's pretty hard. That's pretty tough to do. Because basically, Frazier's first definition, actually, it wasn't Frazier. It was the other guy he was working with, Taylor. His first definition of magic was like, basically just being wrong about stuff. It was mistaking ideal connections for real ones. Like, you know, you get a caveman gets mad and it starts thundering outside, and he thinks that being mad causes thunderstorms. He describes that as like a magical worldview. Now, I'm pretty sure you can probably figure out some issues with that conception. It's like, okay, well, if that's magic, then religion like, what is religion in that point? It's like
Right.
religion kind of arises from
You can't define
that.
every belief or misbelief as magic.
Right. It's like
That is tough to draw a distinction, though.
it's like is magic just being wrong about something? Like
When
anytime
do you define when something is culturally significant enough to call it magic?
Right. Is it just is a guy like adding up some sticks wrong magic? It's like literally that's an important criticism of Taylor's definition of magic. It's like just because you thought a wrong thing doesn't necessarily make it magic. To which Taylor would
Right.
say it's like, well, no, it's not just being wrong about stuff. It's like having a worldview that's based on wrong stuff. To which you can say, well, less than 100 years ago in the 1830s, people thought there were only like 7 types of atoms.
Right.
Like, was
so
that
if you're
magical?
lied to, does that count as magic? That's
Right.
kind of a broad definition, huh?
Right. What if someone is playing a fun trick on you? Does that mean are you engaging in a magical worldview?
This whoopee cushion is now magic.
Right. Because you thought you farted for a second, you're engaging in magic. As you can see, it's like that's a bit of a reductio ad absurdum, right? We're making an argument of like taking this to its most ridiculous version, but it's not wrong, right? That's not an improper use of Taylor's framework, and it was almost immediately criticized by James G. Frazier, who said like, well, no, like just having a misapprehension about something is like having a misapprehension about something is just one type of magic. There's many types of magic. If you've ever read shit about like the law of sympathy or the laws of contagion and people talking about magic in those terms, all that shit comes from James G. Frazier and his book The Golden Bough.
So
And
where did he draw the line?
well, okay, Frazier pretty much drew the same line as basically magic is when you're wrong about stuff. But he drew finer lines and drew more interesting distinctions about how it's like, well, this isn't just being wrong about stuff per se. It's like, it's types of pre-scientific thought that arise in quote-unquote primitive cultures. And there's a whole bag of worms there that we're probably not going to talk about. But, I mean, the book that a lot of this was published in was literally called Primitive Societies. And the way that he structured all of this was he believed both Taylor and Fraser believed that societies progressed through stages, like a caterpillar becoming a cocoon and a butterfly. That they start off with magical worldviews, and then they develop religious worldviews, and then they develop scientific worldviews. And they're all kind of layered on top of each other.
What, were these guys British?
Yes, very.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Extremely, yes. They were like German British.
This is like very like guns, germs, and steel type shit.
Exactly. No, this is like, you see echoes of this type of attitude in a lot of this era of anthropology, where it's like, just the way that people talk about primitive cultures in general.
It hurts.
Scottish. Sorry, they were
genuine,
Scottish.
It hurts because you can tell there's a genuine interest in learning about these other cultures. It's just the completely like wrong time, wrong cultural understanding, and completely wrong framework to look at it for the most part.
It shows you like how like the sheer force of cultural momentum that they were working against. Like everything in their culture was like,
right.
No, God picked us to be better, and that's why it's okay when we like kill these people and measure their skulls. Like it's fine. And them even questioning that was Herculean.
It's a good lesson to remind you that if you're reading pretty much anything that isn't like lists of data, that you have to be really careful of the bias of whoever wrote it and the time and place that they lived.
Right. Like you can never, ever, ever get out of that. Like it just happens.
Yeah. Even in scientific and statistics-based studies, you can't escape that bias. The culture you live in impacts you a lot.
Right, exactly.
And that also has to do with the magic they wrote about, I presume?
Yes. Well, a lot of them, like, there's clearly this era of, like, magical anthropology, or, like, anthropology of magic, was very much defined by, like, magic was something primitive to them. It was something pre-religious. Like, this type of thing that they would associate with, like, worshipping natural phenomena, like storms or a lake or something. They would consider that more magical, even though, like they were trying, I think part of it was, like, trying to draw a line between magic and religion that was a little more acceptable, because a lot of people in this era, like, even we're well into the post-Enlightenment. The church has lost a lot of, like, social clout. But people still wanted to think of religion as something that, like, good, civilized, intelligent people did. You know, that's what Plato did. He was a pagan, but he was religious. He believed in gods and whatnot.
It makes sense that they would want to view it through a framework they were familiar with, like wanting to understand it as a something pre-transformation to a greater conceptualized concept, like industrialization.
Right. And then you get science, which is like the new marker of being a civilized people and whatnot.
Right.
Although I don't want to attribute too much, like, obligate imperialism to Fraser. That wasn't his bag. He wasn't, like, trying to justify empire. It was just like, this is how he thought as a Scottish person in 1830. Like, he wasn't, like, going out to write he wasn't intending to write justifications for, like, Manifest Destiny over in
It's
America.
a framework to classify and understand this stuff. It doesn't sound like an attempt to brutalize it.
Right, but you can see the justifications for empire implicit within this framework, and just
Absolutely.
like the broader social structure's shadow being cast over this era of anthropology.
It's the culture and the knowledge of the place he grew up in. That's what he was taught. Makes sense.
Right. By the way, do we have a theme for this stream or just toys? We're talking about histories of magic, Octavian Soup. It's not like he was Joseph Campbell. Well, even Joseph Campbell wasn't trying to be an obligate, like, imperialist. Joseph Campbell just, like, made shit up. Like, he was just, like, lying about a lot of things because he had a theory and wanted to prove it. Joseph Campbell's the hero's journey guy. You ever learn about that in English class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made it. I hated learning about it because, like, as much as I knew it was true, everybody else who paid attention in English class immediately became 30% more annoying as they gloated about seeing the hero's journey in every single piece of media that came out.
It's also just, like, not true. Like, it's just one of many potential structures for for a story.
It's a very reductive framework to view every story by.
Well, and if you look at the examples that Campbell uses for his theory, he's just like lying about a lot of them. Like he uses a lot of like Sumerian myths where he says like, oh, every Sumerian myth involves like a sky king defeating a storm god. It's like it literally doesn't. Like that's not true. He's just adding. And oh my god, he just like straight up makes up Native American myths at some point. Like this
That's a common theme, isn't it?
Yeah. Like we're still doing that.
It must have been really nice to live a long time ago. When you're the first guy that does something, you can kind of get away with anything.
Right. Especially if you're the first guy to come up with some shit. Like, no, that happened a lot. But thankfully, Fraser and Taylor weren't that bad. Like, Taylor was, if you read The Golden Bough, like his main work, it's like kind of an occult work. Like there's a lot of occultists that were like very inspired by that and like thinking about things in terms of like these archetypical myths and like just what it means to have a myth structure a society and the relationship of mythology to society, which is really interesting and important, but it's also something you can get very Jordan Peterson pilled about. Like it's really easy to overstate that, you know? Because oftentimes myths are reflections of the societies they exist in, and the road goes both ways, right? A myth isn't just like this underlying structure that defines everything. It's like, no,
it's a cultural set of beliefs and values and stories and folklore a lot of the time.
And they change all the time.
Just like every little bit of human culture, like you could interpret it completely differently based on the culture you are. So it's very easy to do some Jordan Peterson shit completely.
Jordan Peterson specifically wants there to be some underlying strata to human behavior. He wants human behavior to be at like anthropology, sociology. He wants all of those things to be.
Psychologists do.
Well, he wants them to be as predictable as math, right? He wants them to be that normal.
And it's so funny. I don't often share a lot of what I do for a living because it has a lot of very sensitive information. But I do some psychology stuff now. I do some therapy stuff. I'm downplaying it because I don't want to make it seem more grand than it is. But like the idea of some of these chuds that the greater concept they have towards like wanting to classify human behavior is so stupid. Genuinely, it's like, just stupid.
It's an ideological version of like cats are girls and dogs are boys.
Yeah.
Like it's just that extended to like weird ideological lens.
You've learned so much about the brain that you've looped back around into believing that girls have cooties. What's wrong with you?
Right. You've invented the cooties of the spirit. Like
you've let your own knowledge, with the biases of the mediums that you've consumed from your schooling, completely warp the way you view the field, which is insane. Talk to people outside of the Joe Rogan podcast.
Right. So, okay, that was the reigning definition of magic for a while. You've got this triad of magic, religion, and science, and everything kind of progresses through that. And then in like 1901, you get Marcel Mauss and I forget his first name, Durkheim. Excellent name. Both are.
I like that name.
Now they're not anthropologists, right? These guys are sociologists. They're sort of the next grand generation after Taylor and Fraser, and they were less interested in like what magic is at a societal level, like as a worldview, and they were more interested in like when you talk about doing magic, what do you actually mean? Like, what are people doing when you say someone is doing magic? And Durkheim especially was ardent about this. He said, like, their definition of magic was more along the lines of, what was it? Let me see if I can recall this from memory and not have to check my notes. It's any rite that is done in secret or away from mainstream society, right? It's like an underground religious rite. And
that's a very specific definition.
It seems my thought is that Durkheim was specifically focused on Greek mystery cults.
I was about to ask, what religion did he base that definition on?
Well, it's basically look at it like Greco-Roman religion, which we've talked about on the on the stream a little bit, where you've got the big public. Oh shit! We got the Octavia Neuros. Oh my god. Yes, yes. It's wonderful. I can leave now. I don't have to play this. I don't have to just. I don't have to run around in one mission for 2 hours.
This is why I don't play this game. You get more excited that you don't have to play it than you do to play it.
No, I can do other stuff. Yes, we can go. We can go finish Songbird Girl. Yay! 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 Oh fuck! I thought I was gonna be doing this for like 2 weeks.
Yippee!
Yay! I don't know. What do we want to do now? Do we grind for Kalervo? I need like a.
The world is your pig now.
I need like a squad to grind for Kalervo. Maybe. Okay, you know what we'll do? Why don't we go do fucking? We'll go do the battle pass thing. Those are fun.
Yippee!
Ugh. So okay, you've got Moss and Durkheim, right? The Durkheim's big assertion about magic is there is no church of magic, and he wrote that with an exclamation point a lot. Basically saying the difference between religion and magic is a congregation, right? Magic has
an organization.
Yeah, well, okay, magic can have an organization, but it has no priest class, and it has no building where you show up every week that's, like, open to the public, right? Emil Durkheim, yeah, that's the boy. Oh yeah, don't forget to craft the Neuros, boss. Thank you. Thank you.
But that's such a specific definition. Like, what if I created a magic and then created a church for it? Would that suddenly make it not magic anymore?
Well, so the other thing that that's a good point. Good point, Candy, because the other thing that Durkheim says is that, like, you know, when you say there is no church of magic, and then you go and read, like, 4th century documents written by, like, Catholic bishops that were calling the Jews a bunch of wizards, there's like, well, the Jews had churches. They had congregations.
Yeah.
Like, so that's not really true now, is it? They definitely, like, there were a lot of people who said they were decrying these churches of wizards. Like, like, there's a famous heretical priest who, his epithet is literally the magician. So there were obviously guys who were, like, doing things that people recognized and wrote about as calling magic. And then they had a church and a congregation and whatnot. So obviously, not the best definition.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be called a wizard just for going to synagogue. Actually, maybe I would. That sounds pretty cool. Well, maybe not in that time period, but... Yeah,
definitely not in that time period. They were doing some rough shit for the Jews.
I'm well aware.
We need some polymer. Let's go to fucking Neptune for a little bit. Let's see what the Nightwave has. This fucking challenge, win 3 wagers in a row on the index without letting the enemy score once. How the fuck are you supposed to do this? I've tried this like 5 times. I genuinely don't know how to do this. Trick to that one is Limbo. Oh.
You need to get low with it?
Yes. Limbo is themed after like an African diasporic religion priest. He's cool looking.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's got like a Shango hat. It's cool as fuck.
Just gonna pretend like I know what that is. That's really
like
cool.
Like a what do you call it?
I'll look it up.
Like a voodoo
is it spelled
practitioner.
how it sounds?
Shango? Yeah. Shango.
It's
like a
okay.
voodoo practitioner
I know what this
hat.
is.
Yeah, with the little teabag
I've seen
looking
these.
Things.
Cool.
Okay, we need polymer. Let's do like there's like a survival or a defense mission. I am not doing defection. No. Bad. There, survival. Wait, no, it needs to be on the C-Lab tile set. Shit. Limbo can work, but then requires their teammates not sit on the points for like ever. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I was thinking maybe next week I can get a squad together and we can go grind Kalervo together. I'm sorry, my friends, I have to leave. Yeah, I'll wrangle some folks from the clan. I'll ask around. It'll be fun.
You have a clan.
Holly.
Wait, you're interacting with this, but you don't have a church. Could this be magic?
Could this be magic? Or could it be secret mystery? Yeah, you're interacting in secret, but you don't have a congregation. I think you're doing magic. And the other thing that Durkheim said was like, is it Neptune or Uranus that I go? Defense, sabotage, spy, ascension.
I like Holly's little wizard emoji. That's cute. Emote, whatever it is.
It is cute, yeah. Disruption. Sabotage? I thought Desmodo was where you went. Oh, it's usually Despina, but they're having an event on that one. Okay. Dote. Let's do... Wait, no, it's got to be the Corpus C Lab tile set, right? Ophelia, that's the one. I'm trying to think of 45 things at once. Wouldn't part of the separation here be that everyone who believes in magic wants to become a magician, but not everyone who believes in a specific religion is going to be a priest? Always seen magic as defined by active participation. That is a great point, Absol. So there's a definition from fucking Gideon Bohawk where he doesn't really give a definition of magic, but he gives what I think is an instrumental characteristic of magic. He says, like, magic it's something you can learn and teach to people, right? Mm-hmm. It's knowledge that you can teach to motherfuckers. And I think that's more or less accurate. What if simply want to buy a curse tablet and move on with my life, though? Well, if you're buying a curse tablet, you're not actually doing the magic necessarily. Like, the magic is being done by whoever made the curse tablet, and then you're buying it and kind of like pressing the on button, metaphysically. So this instrumental definition or intellectualist definition of magic is what it's called. Also, clearly has like a lot of problems, given from the fact that, like, yeah, magic totally has a congregation sometimes. Like, all of the things at least in the Occident, that we consider magic, a lot of them have congregations. Like, we talked about the Hermetic tradition a couple weeks ago. And one of the big things about it was that it was probably like had a master-student relationship, where you like go to your Hermetic master's house, and he like gives you a lecture on Hermetic philosophy, and then you can go home and like teach other people or something. Not really a congregation, but there's a distinct organization, and calling it a religion wouldn't necessarily be wrong. Like, also, if we go back to Gideon Bohawk's definition, you've got, like, there's the perennial question is, was Jesus Christ a wizard? You know? That's pretty important. A pretty important question to ask. And the thing that the conclusion he reaches is no. But, like, this type of charismatic Jewish holy man wandering around, like, doing miracles and stuff was, like, a type of guy that, like, it was one of many types of animal that would regularly interact with the people called magicians, but wouldn't necessarily be called a magician himself, because Jesus couldn't teach you how to do Jesus magic, right? Like, you could pray to God and pray to Jesus or whatever. You could never learn how to walk on water. Jesus can't teach you how to do that. But King Solomon can teach you how to do all the shit he was doing. He can teach you how to command demons. He does it in the Deuterocanonical book of Tobit, right? He teaches his son how to bind demons just like he does. Well, Jesus magic doesn't come from Jesus. It comes directly from God, right? You have to be pious, and then God has to give you magic powers. Jesus can't teach you how to do that. God has, like, you can do everything that Jesus does and never get powers because God doesn't want you to have them. You're
That
not
is an
pious
important
enough.
distinction. Like, Christian miracles are defined as acts of God, not the person doing it.
Mm-hmm. And so are
That would
many.
make sense.
So are many Jewish miracles.
Right.
The King Solomon is actually an outlier because, like, within the Bible, he didn't pray to have magic powers. He just prayed for wisdom to guide his people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So God just zapped a bunch of shit into his mind, and now King Solomon knows that, and he could theoretically teach it to anyone if they had the time and patience. You know, he learned the wisdom of herbs and stones and the secret names of things. So, ATN Atronach. So would saints just be fonts of God's power? They're more like nozzles, I guess. But even a lot of saints didn't have powers, right? Like God would just do miracles around them. Like the saints weren't making the miracles happen. They wouldn't, like, the saints weren't necessarily showing up and going, it's like, check this out. I'm gonna make sure that this starving, hungry lion or like angry bull doesn't gore me and my brother. Like, they never did stuff like that. They never called their shots, per se. So it's... Okay, you say conduits versus own source. That's not correct. Magicians were, like... Magicians within this metaphor, within the, like, ancient Jewish conception of King Solomon as the blueprint for magicians, he wasn't commanding energy. He wasn't, like... He wasn't manipulating some sort of hidden, subtle force. He was writing the name of God on objects and then using those as sigils of authority over demons, right? It's like learning a language that the demons are forced to obey, right? What about... See, Two Boots in chat, you bring up a good point. What about Greek evocators? Wasn't that just ghosts doing the magic? Yes. That's where we get the belly prophets, the Engastrimulthoi, who have helpful daemons haunting parts of their body and whatnot. You also have Pythagoras and his followers. Although there's, like, very iffy evidence for if he was actually seen as a magician, because a lot of the stuff about Pythagoras is secondhand and probably from people making fun of Pythagoras for being a weirdo hippie. So we don't really know. But if we are to believe the proposed metaphysics of Pythagoras, he was manipulating his own soul through meditation, right?
I thought he was doing math. He was doing magic shit?
Yeah, well, the math was part of the magic shit. The geometry was just, like, to Pythagoras and his followers, supposedly, this isn't really a historical truth as much as it is how people talked about Pythagoras. So we don't know what Pythagoras actually did. We don't have any of his own writings. Or it's clear that he actually was very against having his teachings written down. He was very into monastic silence, the art of unsaying and whatnot. So Pythagoras was moving around his own soul, but to him, fucking math was like the bedrock of the universe. Like, if you could learn to do geometry, you could learn to do everything else. And meditating on numbers and whatnot was how you moved your soul. Because you thought, like, you think about triangles really hard, and then you can use your soul to, like, move shit across the room.
What do you mean by moving your soul?
Like, literally squeezing it out of your body and then, like looking around corners and shit.
Oh.
Like, there's a story about Pythagoras where he says that he can appear in multiple places at once. Like, he was in 2 cities at once because one of them was just his astral projection.
And he did that because of triangles.
And he did that with triangles somehow. We think meditating on triangles was, like, part of what cultivated his soul and allowed him to do this.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh right now.
No, it's funny.
Like,
he also thought beans had souls in them, and that's why he didn't want to eat them.
I knew about that, I think.
Yeah, I think I've talked about that one before. But, like, no, even, like, a lot of the people at the time, like, if you look up at the top of the screen on my stream, where it says, please remember that Pythagoras was a dog in a previous life, that comes from a guy who was making fun of Pythagoras for thinking that he was a dog in a past life. Like, the dude who said that was making fun of the things that Pythagoras believed.
Uh-huh.
So we don't know if Pythagoras actually believed that or not. Or if it was just, like, you know how it's like people making fun of Mormons for having secret underwear and whatnot? That type of shit.
I don't know about that. What do you mean by that?
They have secret underwear. I don't know the specifics.
What?
I'm not Mormon.
I've never heard that in my life.
They got special ritual underwear. Yeah, temple garments. I don't know what it is.
Secret underwear.
Riley has yelled at me about it before to tell me things. I thought it was funny.
No, it was funny. It just got me really off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the secret underwear that Mormons have that everyone knows about.
They got damn secret underwears. So you got these definitions from Durkheim and Moss, and they're like there's clearly problems with them. Like, obviously there's issues with them. And people these days kind of split the difference between, like, they don't really want to draw distinctions between magic and religion, so they use the sort of halfway term. They call it magico-religious, which is, that's fine. Like, it goes a long way towards talking about how, like, magic and religion weren't really different. And, like, oftentimes magic only existed because there was a greater spiritual authority calling you cringe and stupid for doing your own little rites off in your own corner. Like, that's where the term magic comes from. Like, that's where magia comes from, is that it's clear that the Magoi back in ancient Greece were just, like, people that had idiosyncratic spiritual beliefs that they were selling to people, and no one trusted them. Like, they were almost universally seen as, like, untrustworthy people that, you know, maybe the desperate would ask for help, but they were largely seen as, like, charlatans. Mm-hmm. That type of thing. But then, as religious authorities grew in the Greco-Roman world, they went from merely being, like, idiosyncratic and untrustworthy to being malicious and evil sorcerers and whatnot. That type of thing. So these days we've got our whole magico-religious thing. But okay, a point I'm trying to work towards for the book, right, is you've got these, like, basically everyone in Western history who did magic at some point was, like, seen as an untrustworthy charlatan. But it's only ever people who are alive now. It's like the people who were, like, your grandparents' charlatans are usually looked back on as sources of perennial ancient wisdom. Like, as soon as everyone who knew them dies, it's like, oh, that guy wasn't a scam artist. He was a powerful, wise sage.
That's true. When somebody dies, you don't really remember how much they're lying anymore.
Well, just look at fucking Joseph Smith, speaking of Mormonism, where it's like, during his life, basically everyone who met him was like, this guy's a fucking asshole. Like, this guy's a charlatan.
Yeah, a memory can't fuck you over.
Right, but then as soon as he died, it's like, oh, we can control his image now, so we can portray him as just a little farm boy who was talking to God. That type of shit happens all the time. Like, that happened to Paracelsus. Back in the 1400s, he, like, as a German doctor, people fucking hated him. Like, literally everyone who met Paracelsus was like, this guy is an enormous asshole and he shouldn't have gotten a degree. But the people whose bullet wounds he treated were like, I love this guy. I'm alive because of him. Because he wasn't, like, pouring cow shit into their open wounds.
Right.
And so, fucking, yeah, now, if you read, like, a lot of fantasy novels that are, like, historical fiction, Paracelsus is this ancient and revered sage or whatever. Like, even in the fucking, the most recent, the vampire movie, Contract. Nosferatu. In the Nosferatu movie, the occultist guy, like, cites Paracelsus. It was like, people didn't like that guy. A lot of people thought he was a fucking crank. It really wasn't until after he died and his students started publishing more of his work that he got, like, crazy popular.
I evoke the words of the great sage Ben Shapiro.
Literally. No, it's like, people are gonna do that to, like Jordan Peterson and talk about, like, what a genius he was. In, like, 100 years or whatever.
I hope I do not live to see that day.
Yup.
If I do, it'll stress me out so much I won't live much longer.
Did Paracelsus talk about vampires? Paracelsus did not talk about vampires. He did talk about gnomes, though.
What? What did he say?
Okay. Paracelsus was a bit of a lay theologian. Like, he had his own opinions about how theology worked, and a lot of it is, like, him incorporating, like, German folk mythology into Christianity. So he believed that, like, the lowest ranked angels were called elementals, right? These are, like, there's 4 types. There's gnomes, salamanders, sylphs, and undines. And each one corresponds to one element. And their job in creation, their job in creation is to, gnomes are the earth elementals, and their job is just to... Wait, why am I doing... I don't want to fight Till Rigor. This takes forever. So, like, the lowest ranked angels are, like... They're so low ranked that their job is basically just to make sure solid things are solid and liquid things are liquid. Like that type of thing. So he says that
like divinely or like against changes of matter?
Like divinely.
Would they be against water evaporating?
No, like divinely. Like whenever a water atom has to move, there's a little gnome pushing it.
I see.
Yeah. But he also says that like there's a lot of German fairy tales about like people marrying mermaids. And he says that sylphs and undines and gnomes and whatnot, they love to appear as like beautiful women and try to get people to marry them because that's the only way they can get an immortal soul and go to heaven.
Huh.
Otherwise, they're trapped on Earth forever, moving atoms around. But if they marry a human and they get that special Christian soul bond, they get a soul and they can go to heaven.
Did he just come up with this, or was there any cultural historical basis for anything he was saying? Yeah, that's like a common German fairy tale, is like water spirits marrying people for a soul. Like that. Right. That's where the Little Mermaid comes from. Like the Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen is based on one of these folk tales. He linked that to like a greater spiritual system.
Yeah, he wanted to slot that into Christianity, right?
I see.
He was the guy who he came up with the idea that they were angels, which is something.
Because in a vacuum, that's fucking crazy. But
right,
I can understand how he would want to make that belief system work.
Right, popping off with that off the dome is pretty crazy.
That's fucking what you said that, and I was like, what? Was he schizophrenic or something?
Nah, he just liked reading shit. One of those perverts.
If he wasn't such a dickhole, maybe you could have been friends with him.
Why is Wenches auto-banned on Twitch? That's funny. Hey, you guys better not be talking about comely wenches in chat, alright?
Ooh, if I see the mention of a barmaid in this chat room.
Ooh, you better not be referring to her chest as a rack of spices, neither. None of that Shakespearean shit, alright? Knock that off.
I don't want to hear about her heaving bosom, okay?
My favorite Shakespearean term for a busty woman is calling her a sailboat.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty, like, I can see it.
That's pretty good.
You know? Like, it, like, kind of looks like a billowing sail. Literally tell me I'm wrong.
I pictured it in my head.
It's good.
That's why I laughed so hard.
There's a bit, it's like in the first scene of Romeo and Juliet where they like see, they see the nurse coming and a bunch of rowdy boys go, "A sail! A sail!" It's like, you can't be saying that, rowdy boys.
Oh, Lord.
You gotta be nicer to women. So definitions of magic. Like, we've basically gotten up to the modern day. It's a fact, my liege. That's true.
Jesus.
Do you condemn the rowdy boys from Romeo and Juliet? I do.
Trying to see if my streamer is problematic by asking them about Shakespeare.
Do you condemn rowdiness and rapscallions?
Do you condemn or condone ne'er-do-wells?
Ne'er-do-wells and rastabouts? Yeah, what's your stance on scoundrels?
Are you a do-gooder or do you dirty your nose?
Are you pro or anti chicanery?
You should add to pro chicanery to your stream tags.
I should.
Next to belly profit.
Yeah, ne'er-do-wells DNI. Thank you very much. You can take that shit elsewhere. You can take that shit to James 70's channel. We run a clean street here, sirs.
Thoughts on blackguards?
Blackguards? Blackguards or boggards are not permitted on this stream, okay? Especially if they be drunkards.
Cancel culture has come for the rapscallions.
Cancel culture has come for blackguards. Why is my team losing at this so bad? This game mode is easy.
They're a bunch of blackguards, dude.
Dude, yeah, I guess we've got a bunch of blackguards in squad. Dude, I saw a scallywag at the Costco the other day, and it was on site. I slit its throat.
I learned my next door neighbor was scampering around in the night conducting misdeeds, so I contacted the HOA to blow up their house.
I set a knave on fire. And I laughed.
As he lit a flame, I shaved my finger at him.
I shaved my finger. Fucking moonclaves, bro. I have never heard of that one.
Do you know the motion? Do you know the finger motion I'm talking about?
Yeah, shaving.
You pictured it immediately, didn't you?
I did.
I couldn't remember how to actually refer to it. The scallywag got in my brain.
Dude, when's the last time you beat the fuck out of a panty waist?
Last night with your mom.
With your mom. Oh yeah. No, DNI if you're rakish as well.
That's another good one.
But if you're rakes, if you're a rake, I'm reporting you to the cops. Revelers are on thin ice.
You're pushing it. You're close.
A mooncalf or mooncap is a monstrous birth, the abortive fetus of a cow or other farm animal. I see.
Oh, like the cow blob thing?
Yeah, or a bastard.
Mooncalf.
I don't have beef with the Capulets. They're fine.
That's before my time.
It's cool that you can still be a rake in society. That's pretty cool. Just be
All you
like
gotta do is move some leaves.
Right, and sleep around. That's really it.
Pretty easy.
I was reading about, like, moral panics the other day. I forgot that, like, novels were an enormous source of, like, moral panics.
Which moral panic with novels are you referring to?
Like, the novel was invented, and then people were like, young women are gonna read these and become uncouth.
That one, yeah. ladies reading their brain rotting trash,
Exactly.
becoming hussies. That's
That
another one. DNI
hussies.
of hussy.
DNI hussies. Found out one of my ooms was a coxcomb. Don't call. That and bicycles. I was reading a thing that like bicycles were like a sex symbol for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was like, well, that's a woman who can ride to the nearest town and talk to men unchaperoned. And so like it's like you know how like it's always like women that are unattainable but just a little bit unattainable are like the hottest thing to a certain type of guy, where it's like e-girl streamers were a huge thing for a while. Like the idea of the e-girl streamer, of like a woman who is famous enough that she doesn't have to talk to you out of desperation, was like a huge sex symbol for a little bit. The same thing was happening to women on bicycles.
When a woman can attain a new mode of autonomy in any way, like the e-girl was like financial autonomy, societal popularity, attention, that makes men really, really upset. Books and reading are a form of autonomy, creative expression.
It's like
entertainment.
What's fascinating to me is that it makes them like upset and bricked up. They're like, this shouldn't be allowed, but also I'll jerk off to it.
Weird, sexist, and like, I don't want to use the term incel because that doesn't apply to back in the day men, but like it's that same kind of philosophy where like a woman tells them no and they internalize it and then externalize it. When a woman is unavailable, it's like a challenge, you know? Right.
Well, that's not, I mean, fucking mark down your bingo squares. The CT's gonna mention Bataille again, but like things can only be horny if they're unavailable. Like there's the interplay of like transgressing boundaries. Like something that you can have a million of is not, like, that doesn't make people horny. It's something that you can almost have or almost see. That's the horniest thing ever.
Craves water until they're parched.
Right. It's like, it's why boobs are so sexualized. It's because if people walked around topless all the time, boobs wouldn't be sexualized.
Right.
It's because people can't have them that they want them. That's the core of the erotic. I always wonder, like, what was that? What was, like, the e-girl of, like, the 1700s? Was it, like, who was... What type of woman hit that, like, perfect medium of, like, unavailability and social mobility that it, like, pissed people off and bricked them up? That's right, Solren. It was you.
Some sort of celebrity of some kind. Like maybe a performer or something.
Oh, yeah.
If not somebody explicitly a sex worker.
Like not nuns, but like people in training to be nuns, you know? Where there's still, like, you still...
I don't know, because didn't nuns, like, not even talk to men?
Well, only once they were
nuns. And live
nuns.
in their own cloisters?
Yeah.
I feel like e-girls are figures who are extremely public and, like, make a big deal out of not only, like, being unavailable, but also, like, they bring a lot of attention to the fact that they're sexy and unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really picture somebody with an e-girl's, like, personality being a nun.
The Baron's daughter who goes to the marketplace every fortnight is a huge one. There's a lot of poems about, like, wanting to marry a noble's daughter that, because you're a peasant, you know you can never talk to her.
Right.
Like, I'm just a lowly knight. I can never marry someone as hot as her.
Yeah, social classes are a good way to see that distinction, too.
There was a moral panic about nuns in the 1800s in America, but it was mostly anti-Catholic. Yeah. Dude, I'm like, every time a major holiday comes around and we have those conversations of, like, it's actually a rebranded pagan holiday, I'm like, you're falling for Protestant propaganda.
Who
Stop.
gives a shit?
It's like people.
Like, if...
It's like fake, like anti-religious sentiment. It's like you're.
Oh, I know. But I'm like, if you want to celebrate the holiday, celebrate the damn holiday.
Who cares?
If you don't believe in it, you weren't going to celebrate it in the first place.
Who cares? Stands up and says this really loudly so women can hear. I care.
Don't be a blackguard.
Dude, you're being a rapscallion right now. Lest I chafe my finger at you.
Dude, you look like you're about... You're making me real hoodwinked right now.
Do you know that hoodwinked and falsehood have the same root?
They both got hood in them.
Right. Well, it's like an important thing in the medieval era was like wearing a hat for your profession so people knew what profession you were. And so like
Really?
wearing the hat of someone else's profession at the market was like a way to trick people into thinking that you were like,
I see.
you know,
It's a literal falsehood.
right. You're wearing a literal falsehood where you're like,
That's so funny.
right. It's like I'm but a lowly vegetable salesman, but I'm wearing the hood of a respectable butcher.
That's so funny. We kind of do have that nowadays. If you have headphones on, you're a streamer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was reading a thing about how like food was prepared in medieval cities, and a lot of it was like most people didn't like have chickens, you know. That was like mainly for the bourgeois and whatnot. And so like you'd go to the market and there'd be a butcher and you'd be like, I'd like to buy one of your chickens, and then you could take it out to the market. Like you just carry your big stupid chicken out to the market and you'd bring it to like one of these guys, usually like has a bunch of loaves of bread or whatever, and you hand him the chicken and say, chop a little bit of this up for me and put it in the bread and I'll give you a 6 pence or whatever. And or you'd say, here's a whole freaking chicken, here's a whole damn chicken. I'm gonna come back in like 4 hours. Can you put this in sausage for me? And then so you do that, you do your tasks in the market, and when you're leaving to go back home, you pick up your sausages. But the guys who did this, these like sausage grinders, were like infamous for like putting worms and sawdust and shit, and so they were constantly being arrested and killed for adding sawdust to sausages. Because the punishment for this was like being beaten to death by the royal guard or some shit.
Oh my god.
Like they would like kill you for doing that.
Makes sense. We should... Maybe we should do that.
Queen Grimlock said they couldn't help themselves. Oh, so
what are you gonna do when you're a little scamp trying to make a living? You're gonna put a little sawdust in the sausage and hope nobody finds out.
Oh,
it's
so
fine.
I'm supposed to put chicken in every sausage? Hi, world's smallest creature. Welcome to chat. And thank you for sausages. Thank you for the bit, Sigma.
Sausages.
Well, surely they won't hang me.
How fucking... Your day must be ruined. You get a chicken and you bring it to a guy and he gives you the wood sausage.
That happened. Like, apparently a huge thing was, like, making something and then reheating it. Because it's like, if you made a nasty-ass medieval sausage yesterday, and you just kind of kept it in, like, a wicker basket for, like, 24 hours, and reheated it, and then, like... I would be fucking pissed if you served me that sausage. Like, that could kill someone. Like, they really did not have, like, sanitation laws.
Put a chicken wood worm sausage in my wicker basket and hope it's better tomorrow.
It's like, I see why they were curing meat. That seems like a real good way to make sure there's no, like, wood in your sausage. Whoa!
We have to
cleanse. Whoa!
Wow!
Oh my god!
Oh wow!
Thank you. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Anonymous. That was so much fun. So much beauty in the world.
So much joy, so much smile.
I didn't
Hopefully
know.
your sausage doesn't have wooden worms in it.
I didn't know the notification for a hype train was that loud. I got startled.
Oh. You poor wet beast.
I
could teach you how to fix that if you want after stream.
It's fine. Mods, for their beauty, remove the worms from their sausages. Mods, deworm them.
All right, chat, come here. Approaches you with a syringe. Come here.
Before I leave stream, remind me to go through my drafts with you.
Okay.
Ugh.
Have you been cooking?
I have
something
been.
other than wood and worms.
I've been trying to spend more time. Do I have you, Relly? I have you, Relly. I've been trying to spend more time like off social media, like not scrolling and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just out and doing stuff. I've been trying to fill up my drafts more rather than just like posting whatever comes to mind.
That's good. That's good.
A couple days ago, I saw one of those Tumblr users just like posting a completely fake story from history and then getting like taken apart in the comments. I'm like, it probably pays to be like thoughtful, especially when people are like mistaking the plot of a B+ YA novel for the history of the Revolutionary War in America.
Right. Oh, lordy.
Yeah, they thought a thing that happened in Aragon happened in the the Aragon loom.
Oh no! I saw that post and I was like, no, you don't believe this.
That user specifically, like, literally everything they post about history is like hilariously wrong in some way.
I believe it. Yeah, I made a post, funny enough, about this recently. Like, a lot of the time, just typing something and then saving it fulfills that itch to post publicly anyway.
Joey Jojo, it's like the second post on my blog. I reblogged it earlier this morning because fuck that guy. I actually don't even know if they're a guy. Fuck that Tumblrine.
That was a good post.
I like remembered that happened and I was like, wait, that's funny as fuck. I should post about that.
Mm-hmm.
Just posting hurt every time.
Every time. If it doesn't hurt, you're not doing it right.
It does.
To be funny on Tumblr, you have to be open to a lot of self-flagellation.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't really be funny unless you accept a lot of pain.
You have to have a sense of humor about it. Like, you have to, like, be a little bit self-effacing, but not enough that people think you're, like, pathetic. And you have to be self-effacing about the right things.
Yeah. Well, you have to be open to embarrassment, is more what I meant.
Exactly, yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
It's one thing to be vulnerable in, like, making a post. It's another thing in accepting that, like, the funniest punchline in that post may not be something you said. It may be something your friend says in response to you, or they, like, call you the F-slur or something.
Right. That's like half of Meat Planet's collaborative posts.
Half of yours!
I'm not that mean.
No, I meant the F-slur specifically.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're funny about it, though, so it gets a pass.
I am. I don't know. Also, in general, I'm just like... I don't know. I'm trying to, like, post less but better. I feel like the landscape of Tumblr is changing in general, that I don't have to, like, post constantly to, like, keep people happy or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's better to make a few good posts than, like, 30 slop ones.
Yeah. I also just, like, it's so easy to, like, I think at the same time, it's really easy for me to overestimate my position in people's lives. Like, I could have 1 billion million followers, and I would still just be... What is a hype chest? I got a button mash emote. Yay! I'll share that.
Toys.
I got a fun thing. Thank you, everyone.
Toys.
Twitch is saying that I've shattered my most recent levels of support. That seems pretty fun.
You broken it.
I boked it.
You boked it.
I boked it. I keep forgetting to equip other weapons except for Cedo. That's fine. I don't know. It's really easy to, like, overestimate how important you are to other people's lives. I know I have, like, some diehard fans and people that, like, support me and, like, help me pay my fucking bills every month on Patreon.
Mm-hmm. It's all ephemeral. Everything online is ephemeral. It could go away at any moment.
But it's also, like, if you say the wrong thing out of pocket, like, you're just... It's like you're the sheep fucker guy forever now.
And that's what I mean.
I've seen
It could
so
all
many...
go away, but all the good of it could go away too.
Yeah, it's like I've seen so many, like, genuinely funny people on Tumblr, like, kind of ruin their reputation by just, like, saying ignorant out-of-pocket shit, where it's like, I know what you mean, but, like, the way that you're structuring this is clearly because you didn't, like, have a group chat to put this in.
Uh-huh.
I think you gotta be more mindful about the stuff you post, and I'm trying to do that.
You've got to, when posting online, especially if you have an increasingly large audience, you have to think about the potential consequences of everything you post. And, like, you may be well-meaning, but if you say something that can be misconstrued or, like, interpreted poorly, it can haunt you.
It can.
You don't want to be bite-cucked.
You don't want to be bite-cucked. It's like even the most harmless misunderstandings can be turned into like cringe moments at your expense, which is like just kind of how the internet works. It's like, yeah, don't post cringe, man, but also like be nice to people on the internet.
Mm-hmm. For the most part, if you are nice and interact in good faith and goodwill, like that generally gets returned to you. Oh God, Twitch does not like the word cuck.
Oh.
I forgot about that. If you're nice, then people tend to be nice to you, but sometimes there are people that have, like, sometimes there are blackguards out there.
Right,
you know?
There's blackguards, there's rapscallions.
There's ne'er-do-wells, and they're not gonna take what you say in good faith, no matter how good your faith is.
Yup.
And that's okay. Okay, yep. Gotta allow the word bite cuck in chat, that's cool. I did this to myself.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about something you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You were talking about the Golden Bough. Is that like a book? What's that about?
Yeah, that's a book by James G. Frazier. It's basically like a study of mythology. It's like this James G. Frazier went through like a lot of European mythology and like compiled it all into a book, and basically just he like did compare and contrasts. He's messaging me on Discord. Go away. Not right now. He basically did compare and contrasts, and the Golden Bough is like a I forget what exactly it refers to. It means something. Defeat the Aura Worm in Steel Path. I don't want to do that. Catch 3 rare fish in the plains of Eidolon. Guess what, motherfuckers? It's a fishing stream now.
We're going fishing.
We going fishing. God,
I have a lot of. Are those?
These
were
are my
those
weapons.
like? Oh.
Yeah, you got primaries, secondaries, melees, and then your companions.
You get a pet?
Yeah.
I like Ubi.
Yeah, Ubi was my first pet. Ubi's my
Aw.
bat dog. But my favorite is Chef. This is Chef.
Hi, Chef.
Chef.
It would track that that's your favorite one.
Okay, well, it helps that Chef is meta. Like, Chef has, like, an ability that temporarily increases your drop chance. So that's pretty damn good.
That is pretty good. Chef.
Chef. Chef.
Chef.
Chef. Actually, we want...
Smita.
Yeah, it's a Smita Kavat. It's the breed of
I
Kavat.
like the name. Kavat Shalom.
Kavat Shalom! And here's Ubi.
Hi, Ubi. Oh, it's like a rhino dog.
Yeah, he's got a cute little bat pig nose.
Oh, he's a bat pig.
The Kubras are so cute.
I like the bat pig.
Wee.
Wee! You're gonna make him sick.
Wee.
He's
Do
gonna
I-
toe up.
Okay. Abilities. They need to use an Oxalis.
And you get a little floating pervert's arm?
Well,
That's pretty sick.
I get a pervert arm, or I get a pet. I only get
Can't
one
do
pet.
both? World is fucked.
So, but Oxalis is for fishing, so we're gonna use Oxalis for a little bit. Oxalis
so
is
you
for
can have
hunting
a dog
and fishing.
or you can fish?
Yes.
That's stupid.
Okay, and we need the Eidolon planes, fishing spears. Where are they? Tulok and spear.
Beer. Do you have to, like, attack the fish to fish them? It's not like a little mini game.
You have to throw spears at them.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's fun. I like the fishing.
I love fishing mini games in games. I always end up putting like 5 or 10 hours if a game has one.
This game is a pretty
Into
fun
just the
fishing
fishing.
game. Yeah, Eidolons are big
More
alien
games.
skeletons that have lasers.
Oh,
Watch out for those.
Cool. Okay. Have
Is there
they just been outside? Is
We
it
mo-
Eidolon season outside?
They usually come out at night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bless
I'm not a-
feline. You missed. We were turking about Darkheim. Yeah, we were talking about Moss and Durkheim's definition of magic and how it's like wrong. Yup, my strongest fuck laser skeleton.
What was that last magic definition book that you were talking about?
The
Was
Golden
that the Fraser
Bow.
one?
Yeah, that's Fraser's. That was like one of the first ones.
How was that received? What did people think about it?
It was like gangbusters. People fucking loved Golden Bow. It was crazy
Really?
popular. Yeah, it was. Well, it's like one of the defining texts of anthropology, especially of like folkloristry, like the study of folklore. I have a jetpack. I should use my jetpack. Whee!
Whee! Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like the big windmills.
Yeah, I like the Warframe X Jade City hot sauce. What?
What?
Warframe got a hot sauce?
What?
What are they talking about, chat?
Hang on.
Warframe got sauce?
Sauce. Jade.
I know Jade is the name of a Warframe.
Jade City Foods Warframe new hot sauce collection.
What? I gotta try the Warframe hot sauce.
Oh, they have a whole bunch of like anime, and this site Jade City has a whole bunch of anime and pop culture themed sauces. Yeah, they have a Naruto hot sauce.
I want to try the Warframe sauce.
I'm looking it up. Hold on.
I'm
I
a
don't
little-
even know if it's out yet.
I'm a little bit consumer pilled here, but I do want to try the Warframe hot sauce. It's just hilarious that exists. The merch for this game is amazing.
Hot sauce.
They got Ember Heirloom on a hot sauce bottle.
Warframe hot sauce 5-pack 75 USD. Calibur's Exalted Pineapple.
They got Excal's
Stalker's
pineapple.
Reckoning.
Wait, Stalker got one? That's so...
Stalker's Reckoning is a Reaper Pepper hot sauce.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, he has a scythe in game. That's fun.
Volt's Jalapeno Shock.
Okay, that's pretty
Do you
cool.
want me to send you this image so you can put it on your stream?
Please.
Give me just a moment.
Yeah. I'll figure out how to add an image to stream. We can do this live. It'll be fine.
Here's the container. It won't let me just download the image, so I'm in the HTML of the page.
You're good. Excal's exalted pineapple is very funny.
Pineapple hot sauce. I can't say I've ever had anything like that before.
I've had stuff along those lines. I've had, like, jalapeno pineapple salsas.
That's my one weakness in fooding. I can't do spicy.
Really?
It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just hurts. I keep trying. Just hurts.
I don't usually fuck with the, like, mango hot sauces and whatnot. I like a smoky flavor.
Smoky flavor is hard to beat. Okay, it's in your DMs. I can't believe you caught that live. That's so funny.
I just saw it in the Hang on. Okay, how do I add this bitch to OBS?
You can just, in your file browser, you can just drag the file on top of your OBS,
Oh,
and it'll put it on there.
Perfect. Come on, buddy, show me the goods.
Drag it onto the screen area.
Yeah, I gotcha. Bam! Check it out.
I made it transparent so you can keep it on your screen if you want.
Just put it right over the screen.
You don't need to see the game.
You don't need to see shit.
Which one is your favorite?
Which one is your favorite? Stalker's
You
Reckoning.
said to censor the activate Windows thing.
Oh, you're right. Here, I'll give us
Put it
a little.
behind us.
I'll give us a little snack.
Oh yay! Put it on the rock in front of me.
Yay! Our sauces. Our wonderful Warframe sauces.
We look like we're on Hot Ones.
Now that we've got to here, actually, hang on. Let me. Holly's playing Warframe right now. Let me send this to her.
She's gonna lose her mind.
Holly, look at this.
She's on camera now. She's been on camera on stream. You could ask her to. You could. No, I wouldn't. Never mind.
No. I'm just gonna send the picture and nothing. I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, back to stream.
She's gonna lose her shit.
Please look at the Warframe hot sauces. It's really important.
Try my exalted sauce.
Try my Reaper's Reckoning sauce. Fuck.
Dude, this sandwich is so spicy. Did you just increase my drop rate?
It did. Dude. This sauce makes you press forward to ult and draw your exalted blade.
Blackguards beware, we're coming for you. We got the Warframe sauce. We got perks going. We got buffs. You're fucked. Exalting my chicken fingers.
It's like in Warframe lingo, exalted means like a summoned weapon. So like the archer character has like a summoned exalted bow, or like Excal has an exalted blade. One character has an exalted flamethrower even.
So it's a sauce you've summoned. It's your summon sauce.
Well, no, it's an exalted pineapple. You're summoning a pineapple for putting it in the
Right.
sauce. I need more fish.
Go fish then. Why'd you leave the water?
It ran out of fish. I gotta go find another hotspot.
I think you mean another hot sauce. Hashtag ad.
Can you tell me more about the sauces, Candy?
Yeah. Let me pull up the site. Somebody links the official Warframe site news drop, and there was like less than a paragraph of information.
Oh. I want to know what's in the
Warframe
sauce.
has partnered with Jade City Foods to launch an official collection of 5 mouth-melting hot sauces, each inspired by a legendary Warframe or a fearsome foe. Whether you're firing up the grill or putting your spice tolerance to the test, these sauces bring serious heat to the table. There's Embers Inferno, which is a ghost pepper one.
Wow, okay.
Volt's Jalapeno Shock, obviously jalapeno. Mag's Mango Crush, a mango habanero. Excalibur's Exalted Pineapple, pineapple habanero. And Stalker's Reckoning, which is another Reaper pepper.
Damn.
That's all we know at the moment. That's all they've told us.
I kind of want the Warframe hot sauces. I want to keep the bottles.
Never open them, let them ferment.
No, I want to have the sauces, but I just like, I love the idea of having an Excalibur's Exalted Pineapple bottle. That's funny.
That is funny. You've had your birthday this year, right?
I have, yes.
Okay.
ACT, this counts as a business expense? You are
Oh my
so
fucking
right,
God.
Concrete After Rain. You are so right.
You would have to do something with it on stream, but
All I gotta do, I'm mentioning it on stream right now.
I think you would have to have it on camera for that to. I mean, it's not like you're gonna get audited in the first place, but
I think even just saying, like, I bought this for research for a stream counts. The IRS is not exactly, like, a stickler for shit like that.
that's true.
You have to be, like, buying cars for them to care. I think a $75 bottle of hot sauce is not going to set off there any alarms. CT mandibles on stream? What do you mean mandibles? What are you talking about?
Dude, everyone can see your mandibles.
Put those things away.
Put them away.
Stop using those things to grip food.
Stop using them to bite prey. What's wrong with you?
Using my
I would love to
non-binary
see a stream where
Oh?
you finish your thought.
I was gonna say using my non-binary womandibles to grip food. It's fucking stupid as hell.
I really liked it.
I'm glad that you liked it, Candy.
I was just gonna say I would love to see a stream where you had to try all the hot sauces.
I like hot sauces. It'd be fun to do a Warframe hot ones.
Yeah. I looked at the ingredients. They don't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. I was trying to be a stickler on the tax write-off thing because I kind of just wanted to like buy it for you as a nice surprise.
Well, that's very nice of you. I love fishing.
These bottles are crazy, man. A flaming, scantily clad woman made of fire and steel.
Yup.
Warframe got some shit going on, huh?
There's some pretty cool women in this game.
Tell me about it.
Well, like, the Warframes are based on, like, in lore, they're based on, like, ancient historical warriors and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like their body that's been, like, cloned so that you can psychically project into it and use their, like, just use their body.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what the Prime Warframes are. They're, like, the original models.
Oh.
So, the base Warframes are, like, clones of clones of clones of clones. But the Primes are, like, reconstructed clones of the originals. So they're a little bit better. And they usually have, like, cool gold on them. This is Lavos Prime. Although
Who is
with
Lavos?
Lavos was like Lavos has cool lore. Like he was basically like an Orican scientist who was going to be executed and use science to escape execution.
Huh.
In the lore, Lavos primed himself. Like he just did alchemy on himself and like made himself a prime.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
other
thought
primes
that-
should not exist, like Revenant and Zaku, who are like canonically assembled out of like junk Warframe parts.
Huh. How did he prime himself? I thought that was like a clone thing?
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Wig. That's cool.
Yeah, we're on Earth right now. The setting is called the Origin System, but we're on Earth right now.
Huh.
I believe
So
this area is like somewhere in northern Africa.
are the historical figures, do they use any like real life ones?
No, but they're like Warframe's start date happens like 1,000 years in the future.
Right.
Although there is now like a whole story beat that has time travel, and it happens in 1999.
Okay.
InSync is not canon. It's like the Warframe universe's version of InSync. It's called Online.
That's funny.
Yeah, this game has a nemesis system where like some high-level enemies can become like upgraded, and they'll like take over a whole planet and force you to they like chase you down and like hunt you in missions and shit. It's pretty cool. Each of the major factions has one. There's the Kuva Liches and the Sisters of Parvos. But the zombie faction, the Tekrot, didn't have one up until recently. And the Tekrot Nemesis system are like zombified clones of InSync, like the boy band InSync,
Oh, that's so funny.
who chase you down and try to kill you. And they all have names like files you illegally downloaded from LimeWire. So they're called like Talking Heads Speaking in Tongues 1998 XXX
That's
1997.
great!
It's awesome. The technosites are really cool.
Was that like Nemesis system thing you were was that like the skull face red guy who was talking to you earlier on this planet?
No.
Is he one of them?
No, that's one of the Grineer counselors. He's like a story boss.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Vahek. We love Vahek. He just screams. Vahek is awesome because he's one of the first villains that this game wrote. So he's very corny. He's very like, my ghouls will tear you limb from limb. But then as Warframe went on and the writing kind of matured and whatnot, like you met the other Grineer counselors and they're like savvy politicians and like hyper intelligent scientists and whatnot, and some of them are still a little cornily written, but then you still have Vahek, who's still screaming about how he's going to get the Tenno scum and whatnot. But then in universe, it's like he's in power because he's a really popular like Grineer politician. Like people keep voting him in power.
Makes sense.
And so his like, it's clear that the Grineer have like, they love heavy machinery and like they love power tools and shit. Like that's like a huge thing for their culture. And so Vahek's whole thing is like inventing bioweapons that have chainsaws for arms.
Respectable bipartisan. We just need to bomb Warframe one more time.
No, Vahek is literally the Origin System's Holden Blood Feast.
That's so good.
But he's awesome. I love Vahek. So your player is a human astrally projecting into various frames that you collect. Yes. But you're not just any human. You are the survivor of a specific paracausal accident that happened several thousand years ago. So the people that were part of the Zeramin 10-0 accident have like special psychic powers because it like they were trying to use a wormhole generator and now they have like a weird relationship to time and space.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you're a psychic child.
Doctor Who kind of did that.
They do a lot of psychic childs.
They if you don't mind the side tangent for a moment here.
Please.
They recently retconned the Doctor's entire backstory in one of the more recent seasons.
Oh. Dude, fucking Health made a post earlier today that was like, many shows jump the shark, but only Doctor Who can show up later in a Dracula cape going, was that guy jumping the shark?
Every other episode, they'll pull it off, but like recently they were like, spoilers if anybody cares about Doctor Who. I don't even think this was recent, but apparently the whole Time Lord race that the Doctor was
Oh yeah, the
entire
Gallifreyans
show
and whatnot.
established to be part of. They all died in a big war, except they didn't, and then they did again, and it was revealed recently that the Doctor was the original of the only one of their own race, which is not the Time Lords. The Time Lords like stole some of the Doctor's immortality power when the Doctor was just like a little child and used it to like clone an entire race.
Oh.
The Time Lords never had the power, but they took it from the Doctor when the Doctor was a child, and the Doctor's the most specialist little boy ever.
I love their whole thing of like continually making the Doctor the specialist little boy in the whole universe.
I love it! I love it so much! It's like a child on DeviantArt who keeps adding shit to their OC!
It's like, and he can beat Goku, and he has shadow powers, and he has a legendary blade, and he has an exalted pineapple. And he was captured as a child and raised by wolves, and then his wolf parents were killed, and then his raised by humans who taught him ninja powers.
It's so good. In one of the more recent seasons, they brought David Tennant back. Except
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
Well, he's already gone. Like, he was there and already gone. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a couple of episodes, and a movie, I think. And the way they did that was the Doctor bi-generated, so he was killed, and then instead of regenerating into a new Doctor, like has happened every other season, he just kind of split off into another of the Doctor.
What?
And the guy that killed him in that episode was Neil Patrick Harris, playing a whimsical toy maker villain.
Oh yeah, there's a villain called the Toy Maker.
Yeah. It was...
It's bad.
It was bad.
I think that's
you
very
could tell
good,
the actors
Candy.
were really giving it their all. Like, the performances weren't bad, but the episode was bad.
Oh boy.
I loved it because it was so campy. And the Doctor they had, like, aside from David Tennant in that episode, was... Oh, how do you say his name? Shooting Gatwa? And he's got, like, the most beautiful, beautiful eyes I've ever seen. And he's a great actor, genuinely. But it's like... Where else do they go from here? You know? They've had the Doctor be a secret, all-powerful, timeless person, and their entire race is dead, except it wasn't their race, except it was. And now he can turn into two people.
Literally, the best Doctor Who episodes are the one where the Doctor is barely in them.
Mm-hmm. Or the Doctor is, like, throwing a tantrum like a baby.
But they brought
you know?
Billie Piper back? What?
Oh, yeah, they teased her as being the next Doctor.
Shut
I
up.
am excited for that because I love Billie Piper, not because it's going to be good.
Yeah,
This is my slop.
There's no
This
way
is my
that's going to
slop.
be good.
She's so... Ugh! Billie Piper is exactly my type of woman, and I screamed when I saw the trailer, because it's like, I'm gonna get to see her run around on my favorite slop TV show again.
Dude,
Hell yes!
They're going to put her in the cardstock hallways. It's going to be awesome.
I can't wait! I cannot wait!
Get
no,
out
it's
of here,
definitely an
Thumper.
awful...
I'm trying to
It's
kill
an awful-
fish.
I'm sorry. It's definitely a terrible, awful idea to bring her back as the Doctor on the TV show where she was already on it. But, like, they've done it. They did it with David Tennant once, so, like, who cares? Who cares, right? Might as well be silly.
Right, might as well get silly with it.
Might as well have fun.
I didn't mean to fire my Archwing weapon.
And who knows, maybe this time it'll be good. Maybe this time. Maybe this time.
Maybe this time.
Doctor Who fans have been saying that about the show for, like, 15 years at this point. Cautiously optimistic.
They could do it.
Maybe this time it'll be good.
They could do a Buffy the Vampire Slayer and make it so that everyone is the Doctor somehow. Did that happen in Buffy? Because sometimes you guys will say, like, this literally happened in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then you look it up and it just didn't. Like, you're just lying to me.
I've heard so much insane lore about Buffy, but it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a show for teenage girls. So they shouldn't They couldn't have done that much. Could they?
I feel like
Supernatural did some crazy shit.
Supernatural just like gave up after a certain point, which was awesome.
They honestly it was like they half gave up and they half kept really trying. They still had to make it a shitty TV show for like middle-aged women who wanted hot men to fawn over, but like also they had to like establish lore for all of the dumb shit that they were putting in there, and at a certain point like their explanation for how like magic in that world worked was that every religion is true. So they had a room, like a conference table scene in one episode where it was like the Christian God was there and the god of the Supernatural TV show was there, and like what's the elephant Indian god?
Ganesh.
Yeah, they were there. They were just all sitting at a table and talking. It was actually really funny. I loved it.
And they all appeared as just like people.
Yeah. Supernatural is slop, but it's fun slop.
I remember watching it and like the first 3 seasons were like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and then the 5th season was like, this is a little campy, and then after that it went like really hard downhill.
It gets really bad,
like,
yeah.
Sharply and intensely downhill. I was like, what is happening? They kept setting shit up and then like
good.
They kept setting shit up and then just dropping it immediately.
Yeah.
I remember they established a whole thing where there was like a society of monster hunters from the Revolutionary War who had like safe houses all over America, and they just like but enough about that, and they never brought them up again. I was like, wait, that's like really interesting. I want to hear about like the Abraham Lincoln vampire hunters.
Even worse, they established all of that and then they immediately killed off all of the remaining members of that.
Oh, that's stupid.
They set it up just to give the Supernatural boys a new bunker. That's basically it. That's all they did.
Oh.
Yeah. Then they had a whole arc where they took away Dean's soul, and that was like a thing for like a season, and he just turned into a bad guy.
Didn't one of them go to hell like 4 times?
Yeah, that was him.
CT the fish bait. I know! I keep getting shot off of my wonderful fishing rocks, okay?
Why don't you kill the thing?
It's really far
Kill the
away.
thing that's shooting you.
I literally can't tell what's shooting me half the time.
Oh.
The fucking thumper keeps spawning in and killing me.
The beginning of Supernatural was genuinely good and interesting. Like the whole arc where like Sam was like part demon or some shit and had to drink demon blood, but it was like an allegory for addiction. So he was like dealing with compulsions of it. It was genuinely intriguing. And then they stopped doing that because he got better.
Oh.
So they immediately moved on to something else. I was really hoping they would keep exploring it because it was very interesting, but they dropped it and moved on.
Oh, well.
They had to make him a good guy, and good guys don't do drugs. Good guys don't do drugs that give them demon powers. I would do drugs if it gave me demon powers. Are you kidding me?
Right. It's like, I already like drugs a lot.
You know? Right, you don't need to sell me more.
Right, like, you don't need to upsell me. Drugs are literally great. Like,
you don't need to put your foot in the door. You are inside already.
Right. Drugs are literally one of the best things about, like, being alive. That's like telling me it's like, dude, getting a good night's sleep gives you superpowers. Eating a yummy hamburger gives you powers. Like, yeah, I was already sold.
Like, I already have a mouthful of burger. What more do you want from me? They bring back that demon blood addiction thing like a couple more times just to use it as like a convenient way to solve whatever problem is in that episode that I'm forgetting the term for. What's the thingamajig that solves it? A MacGuffin?
Deus
It
Ex
comes back as a
Machina?
MacGuffin. Yeah, a Deus Ex Machina. Thank you.
MacGuffin is a thing that everyone wants. It's like the briefcase in
right.
what do you call it?
Yeah.
The Tarantino movie where he says the N-word a lot.
Inception? No.
Got a fucking boot. Fuck you,
got
man.
a boot. You got a small boot.
I got that muckrae fucking trolled me. Gave me a boot.
You thought it was a fish, but it was a boot.
I got trolled. That's literally the rare fish I need. It gave me a fucking boot instead.
Oh, that's so funny. That's the one you'd been fishing for this whole time?
Yes. I rolled a boot.
You should have drank more demon blood. Maybe it would have worked. There's like a scene in Supernatural where a demon is hunting Sam, and in that show, demons are just like they're metaphysical clouds of black smoke that have to possess people in order to have like human forms on Earth, in order to like physically interact with things.
Right.
And like in that show, they can still be bound by like magic and shit. So if you draw a ritual circle in a certain way, it can keep them trapped in it.
Yeah.
And like to cleverly outsmart a demon, in one scene, Sam bites the veins and arteries on his arm and draws one on the ceiling with his own blood. And there's like a shot of him like smiling and laughing at the demon, and then the camera cuts to him, and you can see as his lips curl up the blood on his teeth. And like that's really cool.
Yeah, that's
it
clever.
does a couple cool things. I just wish it didn't suck.
That's interesting. That's pretty close to how demons like work in actual like Jewish lore.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you just as long as it's got a properly constructed name of God on it, like you can use that to command demons. You do have to like be following Jewish law at some point though. And I don't think the Supernatural boys were following Jewish law.
No, definitely not.
I think they were actually using the name of God in a profane manner.
Yeah, I didn't see a single mezuzah on any one of those doors.
Tisk tisk. And they killed a lot of people. Like that's a commandment.
They did. They try not to, but they did kill a lot of people.
They killed like a lot of people in that show.
I forgot about that part.
Okay, I got two.
My new
that's
Does the
three.
Dog
Yay.
Guy. Is the character Jewish?
Does the character follow
in a
Jewish
good way.
law?
In a good way.
In a
In a
good
good way. In a good way. In a good way.
Just to
I was
specify.
so wrapped up in my own Judaism, I didn't even realize what that could mean.
It's really funny. Like, it's unfortunately very funny to me when you have, like, a very good joke, but you have to specify at the end, like, I mean this in a woke way.
I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm a Jew! I'm a Jew! I'm woke!
Okay, don't abort them.
I don't believe in killing people, I'm not a scalawag!
I'm not a scalawag or a rapscallion, thank you very much.
I'm not a mooncalf!
Didn't they have Enoch in that show at once? Like, they had...
Yeah.
They had, like, an Enochian thing.
They had literal archangels and shit.
Oh, yeah. Did they ever actually meet the Christian god?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. He's the... They had the main, I think the, like, head director or something cameo as the real Christian god. And he, like...
Cringe.
He showed up to Sam and Dean and was like, I trust that the Earth is going to be safe because you two are protecting it.
Shut up.
It's so good. It's so good.
That's so corny. I kind of love it, but shut up, man.
Yeah, this hits so hard if you're stupid.
Atronach in chat, of course God is cringe. That's really funny. You just say that to random people on the street. Hi, I'm
This
God.
Earth is safe because I trust you to protect it.
I trust you and your gay brother to protect it.
Dude, Supernatural was so homophobic. I just remembered. They made so many gay jokes.
There's like the one cultural remnant of Supernatural that I remember from Tumblr is an audio post of someone talking about, like, in the first 3 seasons, Dean is he's like pitching down his voice to be like, Sammy, we have to go save the world. And then once you hit season 5, he's like, Sammy, we have to go save the world.
Well, it's like Supernatural before 2015 was really homophobic and really of its time. And like you can tell after gay marriage was legalized, the like PR team was like, uh-oh.
the fucking woke drop soldiers like busted in and were like, start gay baiting now.
Squad.
Yeah, the re-education squad kicked in the windows and like held a gun to Chuck's head and was like, you better make it woke now.
That's the only reason they put Castiel in the show, is they had to gay bait.
They had to, because of woke.
They had to queer bait. Their funding would have been taken away. All the SJW funding. Oh yeah, and what's his name? The Breaking Bad guy who's also in Tekken or something?
Giancarlo Esposito?
No.
He loves being in video games.
No, not Breaking Bad. Walking Dead. Walking Dead.
Oh, that guy with
Negan
the bat.
from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the dad in Supernatural.
Oh. Well, he has an
in that
excellent neutral
first.
game.
Sam, you gotta use your neutral game like I taught you.
Sam,
You gotta
you only
block
have a
loads.
9-frame jab, Sam. You need your spacing to be better. God
Sam,
will talk
that was
to
a
you.
quarter circle, son.
God will talk to you eventually to tell you how to do a Dragon Claw input.
Sam, grab the gun! I gotta do a raging demon!
Dude, they should have taught Dean 100-hand slap.
Castiel can go up and across.
He can go up and across. I love you, and I can go up and across. And then he gets taken to hell.
Oh my god. One of my favorite things about Supernatural was that Castiel would show up for 2 episodes, and then they would send him to torture for like 20.
Why?
They would torture he was the Squidward suicide of Supernatural. They would
Oh.
torture the fuck out of him. I don't know why. They put him in the Squidward torture machine like every other episode.
Why? Who was torture? Was it a different torture every time, or was it the same torture
Yes!
room? What?
No, it was different every time! Sometimes they'd have him tortured by demons, sometimes they'd take his soul away, sometimes they'd send him to super hell.
Why was he the torture pig? I feel bad for him.
Because he's gay.
Oh. Didn't like it was like Dean got married to like a straight woman with no face or something?
Yeah.
Like a blonde woman with no face?
The finale of Supernatural is one of the funniest episodes. Dean dies of a single vampire.
Oh. Doesn't he gets a tetanus cut on his hand or something?
He gets stabbed by a nail.
And he gets tetanus and dies.
He gets tetanus and dies. And Castiel can't bring him back from hell this time, so he's just dead. And Sam dies of old age, and they give him a shitty gray wig that looks like broom hair.
That's
It's
awesome.
so good.
That's really
They did
cool.
terrible old age makeup and had him look fondly out of a window for his last scene.
Listen, if I'm on season 14, I would just start putting people in old age makeup for fun. Shut up, Dean. You're old today.
Dude, it's the demon that makes you old.
We're gonna call you Old Pig now.
Oh yeah, Dean's car got sentient and went to heaven.
What? Is
Dean's
that allowed?
car became sentient and went to heaven, but Castiel didn't. Castiel was
Oh.
tortured forever.
Oh.
Castiel's canon ending was that he was tortured forever.
Well, that just seems a bit silly.
Oh, you gotta admit, it's so funny though.
just
The most tortured puppy ever doesn't get the happy ending.
I'm just like...
He's the suffer pig, and they don't even put him down.
You I don't even really know how to react to that. I'm just like
Like, think about it. Digest this information.
dude, imagine if like
they put the gay angel in the show to save the main character. He saves the main character like 20 times. Every single time they cut him more and more and more, and for longer periods of time. And then they don't even let him die or get a happy ending. They torture him forever.
just imagine if in the last episode of Breaking Bad, they're like, by the way, Stinky Pete got tortured forever. Like, the universe is, like, the only way that he's gonna get out of being tortured is that the universe ends.
He's a literal angel of heaven. Like, one of God's favorite angels, it's established in the show. And his destiny is to be tortured forever. He cannot die. The Leviathans get him or something? They established
oh yeah,
Leviathans.
the Leviathans. I remember those.
Which are just like, sort of like the demons. They're just like this like slimy black substance
Yeah, they were like
that
demons, but
possesses
worse.
a human body.
Or something.
Yeah, they were like stronger than angels and demons, and they were alive before the angels and demons and God.
Whatever.
And they became alive again because the Antichrist released them from a mystical tablet.
That same thing happened to me. Yeah, when I got born, I got released from a mystical tablet. It's not crazy. No one's impressed.
When I was born, they put me back in the mystical tablet. They didn't want me.
Yeah. My parents put me back in the tablet because they were mad at me.
I didn't get put in timeout. I got put in tablet. They put me in damn iPhone.
It's just what it's like when a girl has a favorite OC, you torture them.
Yes! That's why I love it so much! They loved him the most out of every character until they hurt him really bad.
That's cool.
It's so good. The show sucks. Supernatural is a bad show. The first couple seasons are genuinely interesting and fun and good, but it's so ass. They didn't have to do that to him.
It seems like ultra mega ass, unfortunately.
It's doo-doo from a butt. Like, I like it, but it's not because it's good.
No. I feel like we don't get shows like that anymore.
We don't! Shows are either, like, extremely bad and uninteresting, or it's like... There's a gay scene for 5 minutes, and the rest of it is about a cop who needs to save their family.
The gay characters aren't even, like, funny anymore.
No!
They're just, like, gay Republicans.
They're, like, liberal party members who, like, happen to have a drug habit, and that's the most interesting thing about them.
Yay.
Or a cop.
Or a cop. I did watch the first season of The Wire recently, and there were, like, lesbian cops, and I was like, oh, that's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm. Or, like, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That one was really successful, too.
Oh, did that also have lesbian cops?
It had gay people in it, yeah. The one of the main characters was gay. I don't think it was a lesbian. I think it was a guy.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that was like the harbinger for the rest of the woke people cop shows.
The real harbinger for woke was Glee. Glee is what, like... Because it got the 35-year-old
true.
mom demographic, right?
Yeah,
It
no,
got-
you're right.
if you can-
Absolutely.
Whatever the fucking 35-year-old mom demographic is reading, that's what controls America.
That's true. Once Brooklyn Nine-Nine got the millennial audience, though, the fate was sealed. Like, Glee...
Oh, yeah.
Glee's-
Every innovator needs somebody to follow them through the breach, you know?
Right. Glee's demographic was aging by the time Brooklyn Nine-Nine came out. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine came out, like, right at the advent of Twitter.
Oh.
So it, like, changed the media landscape. Glee was a cultural phenomenon, but you're not going to find Glee posters nowadays, you know?
That's
But you
true.
will find gifs of Brooklyn Nine-Nine everywhere.
Glee is also one
in
of
the-
those shows I remember as being insanely problematic. Like, looking back on, it's like, how was
Oh, yeah.
this made?
It was, like, the metrosexual type
Yeah,
show.
that's a great way to put it.
They were the pioneers of that entire cultural understanding of gay people. Like, it was woke at the time because at least gay people were there, but it's not woke at all now because, like, the gay people were not there.
Well, it's like, yeah, there's like gay people in the world that are writing characters now, and they're just as like boring and lame as normal straight characters, which is
Right.
like, yeah, all is right in the world. That's how it ought to be.
That's how it should be.
It's like we just need a statistic. It's like 1 in 10 characters on TV just should be gay and stupid. Like
As much as I think gay people and gay culture, like, tries to be, like, and kind of has to be weird or, like, obscure and, like, people who do drugs and stuff and, like, whoa, we're, like, counterculture. 9 out of 10 times I meet a gay person in real life and they're just, like, I don't know, they just, like, own a truck and that's their personality,
right.
you know?
It's like I literally met a trans chick who's just like into Marvel, just like really into Marvel movies.
Right. People are just people.
Right. It's just like, there's just like completely normal people. It's like not everything has to be transgressive. A lot of people are just
You can write a
forced to be
weird gay
transgressive.
person. You can write a weird gay person, and that's fine. It just can't be like obvious that you think that's what all gay people are forever,
Yup.
immutably. World's
That
Smallest Creature says 1 in 10 Warframes should be gay and stupid. I have a feeling that's already the case.
I mean, at least there's definitely gay Warframes. We know like maybe the most important character in the Warframe universe is like half the events in Warframe happen because of like a category 5 yaoi incident.
That's fucking awesome. I need to play Warframe.
You should. This is a great game, honestly. This is like a very solid horde shooter.
I'm falling for the propaganda.
Yeah, it was a category 5 old man yaoi event specifically with
That's so funny.
fucking Lloyd and Albrecht and Trotty.
I'll get the hot sauce, and then we'll do a stream where we try it together. It'll be
Why-
the first Meat Planet IRL stream.
We're just gonna talk about Albrecht and Trotty being gay and eating hot sauce.
We're both gonna be in tears because neither one of us are gonna enjoy the sauces at all.
I'll probably enjoy the sauces. I mean, I hope maybe they're bad. I don't know.
I read the ingredients. They seem like normal hot sauces. I just don't like hot sauce. I don't like spicy.
That like Reaper pepper stuff is very intense. Like I don't like those hot sauces that are
Yeah.
like, we're gonna blow your tits off with this one. It's just like,
Martin's Explode Your Anus sauce.
right, Martin's Find Your Dad sauce. He's lost. You have to find him.
This sauce will make you find your dad. Candy, we're harming you? Why? What did I say? I didn't do nothing. Be nice to me.
What shows are 35-year-old moms watching these days? They're watching the Wheel of Time series.
I've never heard of that. No, they're watching Love Island.
Well, they're watching. Moms do like stuff like Love Island and like Desperate Housewives shows, but they love those like shows where it's like Game of Thrones is really popular. What are other like big elaborate fantasy media that we can like adapt into a long-running fantasy like epic show? And so they're doing the Wheel of Time series.
I've
Or-
never heard of that.
Yeah, Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time.
I don't know
Very
who that is either.
very influential, long-running fantasy series. I read the first book, and it never, ever shut the fuck up about anything, so I turned it off. It's like, it's part of that school of fantasy media where it's like, oh, world building is what makes things good, and then there's just no story. It's just all world building. And
I hate that shit.
Robert Jordan loves to make up his own fucking words for shit. It's like, they're not wizards, they're Aes Sedai.
Oh, he's trying to do a Tolkien?
Yeah, he's trying to do a Tolkien without the Tolkien swag. And so everything has its own stupid names.
That's dumb. That annoys me. It really annoys me when, like, you try to get into a new fantasy media or whatever because you hear it's really good, and then you have to, like, memorize a dictionary's worth of their own terms
It just
for
didn't,
everything.
It just didn't earn it. You know, when it's like,
Right.
You know what? You know what's a fucking piece of media that incorporates its own unique terminology really well is fucking Disco Elysium, right? Everything is diegetic. You only need to learn it as you go. Like it's like it evolves.
It's also based on real life culture and real life words that
Right.
you might already like understand the root words of.
Right, it's like fantasy French and shit.
Yeah, you can piece it together.
Right. There's a
They
lot of
did that very
context clues
cleverly.
and whatnot. Well, and that's the
love
thing
Disco
with
Elysium.
that's the thing with fucking Tolkien, right? Like all of the like Elfish word is just based on Frisian. Like it's an existing like old English is Frisian. And so
Like,
there's a lot of cognates and stuff for like Germanic languages, and they can kind of track if you know the language a little bit. But Wheel of Time just never stopped talking. I was tired of it.
So many shitty series like that want to do a Discworld, where they like have an expansive lore and are kind of funny and quirky about it, but they don't understand that there's more going on than just like a whole bunch of terminology and lore.
Right.
I love Disco Elysium. What was your favorite character in Disco Elysium?
Ooh.
There doesn't have to be one, but I'm curious if
It's
there
like,
was.
who's the capitalist lady on the yacht? What the fuck was her name?
Joyce.
Joyce.
Joyce Messier.
I think I liked Joyce Messier the best. Like
She was wonderful.
such an interesting like depiction of that ideology as represented by a person.
She's probably the best written liberal character I have seen in media.
Yeah, just the concept of being an ultra liberal, like just the concept of ultra liberals in general is really fun. I
They
also
did that
think
brilliantly.
I
Her
also think-
introduction being on her boat.
yes, and her nice boat too.
Her nice boat that you can ask about, and she tells you like all of the price and the statistics of it, and how many people it holds, and how fast it can go.
I fucking
It's like talking to a small business owner about their truck.
yeah.
I was like, yep, I've met 30 people exactly like her.
The Sunday Friend is an excellent villain.
The Sunday Friend is great.
I love that he's written like a more traditional RPG character because it makes it even more uncanny with all the very vibrant, interesting characters.
And you get so little out of him, too.
Right, you learn nothing.
You have to work so hard to meet him, and you get nothing for it. I loved that. I was like, huh, this is just a guy. Like, I treated this like an RPG, like a game where you investigate the quest. No, I just pried into this guy's sex life to meet this other guy for no good reason.
Right. And the balcony guy, like, wants you to meet the Sunday Friend. He's like, yeah, come back. Go ahead. Why not?
You have to, like, get him to open up to you.
Right. You do have to make, like, an empathy check or whatever.
You have to be persuasive. You have to, like, use, like, street smarts to get him to listen to you.
Also, oh my god, the fucking skill system for Disco Elysium is such a good way to write characters.
It's
like,
brilliant.
Every character I write has an extensive, like, Disco Elysium skill write-up. It's just, like...
Like a
such
thought cabinet?
Yeah, it's such a good way to conceptualize, like, a character's internal life. Like, how they see the
It's a
world and the
great
different aspects
way-
of them.
It's a great way to define a character without just, like, basing them on a couple traits or things they've done. It fleshes them out as their own, like... It allows you to define what their belief system is and based on what.
Well, it's always, like, the way that you learn who a character is from the writing perspective is, like, you have that internal conflict between multiple different aspects of the character, and the way that you learn who they are is which one wins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and how that affects the choices they make. Like, that to me is, like, a really good way to make solid characters quickly.
I love the thought cabinet so dearly because it allows you to choose, like, which parts of Harry's life impacted him the most.
Right.
And it allows you to interact with the people around you differently with those memories that you have pushed to the forefront of your mind. In my playthrough, I didn't allow him to touch any substances at all. And even then, like, parts of his mind were still popping up like, we're clean, but we want this, you know?
Right.
You could feel the tingle of it in your fingers.
I love
eat that cigarette butt.
Go eat that cigarette. Eat that ciggy butt. Please, eat that cigarette. I need you to do it. Find cigarettes and smoke them.
And if you
No.
sprint enough in that game, if you hold down the run button enough, at a certain point, Kim turns to you and he's like, why are you running so much? You
Yeah.
are so out of shape.
Right, he's like...
You are an out-of-shape alcoholic past his
Right, he's like,
40s,
why
50s.
are you jogging everywhere? And then
And you get to learn a little bit more of Harry once you figure out the answer to that.
Yes,
Great.
he used to be a gym teacher. It works.
It helps you
so
understand why
well.
he's built like that too. Like
Right.
his nicely defined calves compared to his beer belly.
Right. It's so fun.
He's built like a chicken, and it's like maybe it's a stylistic choice, but none of the other characters are exaggerated like him.
No.
It has a reason. They thought of that.
I love
It's
that.
crazy that like go on.
I love that the first like sketch they drew of Kim was like, that's it. He's perfect.
They got it in one.
They did. They totally did. You take one look at Kim Kitsuragi and you're like, oh yeah, that's a dependable hard ass who's very calm.
He's got the kind of character design that 90s cartoon designers, like Sonic the Hedgehog character design type beat.
Yes.
Where he's like a skinny guy with a rectangle head and circle glasses. Instantly, you know everything there is to know about him.
Right.
Instantly. The way he stands, the way he talks, like, you don't really even need to see him move.
Right.
You see him pull out that notebook and start scribbling in it, you know exactly what he's about.
Right. He's French and Southeast Asian.
You don't need to know what a moralist is, because you know his beliefs from the way that he wears that dumbass jacket.
Right. I love that he's a weeaboo for the aerostatic jets.
He's a car guy who like is
I'm
so
king of the highway.
who holds his like autistic interest in cars so close to his chest that he's like locked pretty much everything about him away in his personality, like because he's like afraid of being made fun of. Because kids used to make fun of him for playing pinball,
Right.
and that embarrassed him so much.
And he's really
love
good at
Kim.
it, though.
Yeah, he's so good at it. They called him Kimball.
Yeah. When the homie is Christ-like.
I don't know how Robert Kurvitz did not kill himself when he lost Elysium. I probably would have.
Right.
It's
It's like a generational tragedy.
we
But
don't
also,
even know
like,
how much we've lost.
Also, like, the only way that they got that funded was by, like, literally, like, tricking a weird billionaire into, like, who's probably
Yeah.
had mob connections.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I started reading his novel, A Great and Terrible Error.
Oh,
It was never translated to English, but there's a fan translation online, and it's pretty good.
right. It's like, I read
It's really
the
good,
first.
actually.
I've read the first little bit of it, and I was like, where the fuck was my squad mate that entire time? No wonder that was taking
Yeah, I
so
don't know.
long.
I haven't seen them. That's a book you really gotta chew, though.
It's like-
does not coddle you at all.
I read the first bit of it, and I was like, I see why this needed to be a video game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think the best examples of media are like, this could never have been anything but a movie. Like, this story
Right.
had to be a book.
Mm-hmm.
When I read Sacred and Terrible Air, I was like, this has to be an RPG. This can't be a book. It's an okay book. It isn't a book, though. Like, this idea isn't a book.
We only know that, though, because we've seen Disco Elysium and been able to touch the world of Elysium with our fingers. I feel like A Sacred and Terrible Air might have been better before the game came out, but, like, having seen Elysium and the world and the people that live in it, honestly makes the book better for me, because the imagery in that book is so descriptive. You really feel like you can breathe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the book breathes.
It helps, though, that, like, you've already kind of lived in that world for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I would have been sucked in so much had I not already experienced some of it. Play Disco Elysium if you have not, chat.
Yeah, go play it.
For the love of God. It's the best video game ever made, and I'm not exaggerating.
It's kind of the first good video game. Like, it's like the first video game that's actually art.
Yeah. It's the only video game I can conscionably qualify as art.
Like, I think it
No.
really is the first, like, truly the first good video game. Don't buy it, though.
Yeah, don't buy it. There are many extra legal methods of acquiring it, of which we cannot discuss. But you should play it.
Give me a relic pack.
It's on archive.org?
The book or the game?
The game? Is what someone in chat is saying. Fascinating. Why? Because, the world of Elysium, which Robert Kurvitz and his team have spent an insane amount of time developing, they no longer have access to, because the publishing company that provided the funds and published Disco Elysium sued in court to obtain the access to that IP rights. So they can never do anything else in Elysium again. And they were all fucked over supremely.
Who's the bouncy little freak behind the counter? That's Lloyd. And Otak.
He's cute.
He is cute. He has brain damage.
Aww. He looks like one of the Guardians from Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah. The Entrati
The head
do
shape
have...
and the spider arms.
Yeah, they have like a coin theme going on.
That's cute. I like his little smile.
He is cute.
That is not the voice I thought would come out of his mouth, though, for sure.
Well, he has two voices. There's one of them sounds like this, and the other one sounds like this.
He's
Hi,
giving
Grandma.
me very... Oh, we found Bleeding Grandma.
Yeah, we found the bleeding grandma.
What was it? Otek or whatever? He was giving me very Yes Man Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, there's a little bit of yes man swag to him. Yeah, this is Grandma Entrati. She's cool.
Hi, Meemaw.
All the NPCs here are like a family. So like,
Just as passive-aggressive as a real grandma.
here's the mom. She has one long blue arm.
I really like her. Oh, so she can reach fruit off of high trees.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. CT,
She's a giraffe.
have you listened to the still verses? I did. I didn't like it.
What's that?
It's like a story about how it's like a story that happens in a universe where Cabal is real and like like corporations can use it.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought it was lame.
I have
also
complicated feelings about that.
like there was a bit in it where they implied that black people didn't have souls. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, that's Unsong. Yeah, I didn't like Unsong. Which one is still verses?
Taking a page out of the Mormon book.
Yeah. Yeah, Unsong is the one with the corporate other thing. Which one is Still
I
Versus?
don't trust most media when they use the word cabal.
Still Versus is a narrative podcast? Oh. I don't know. I just like... I spend all my time reading about... I spend all my time reading about, like, actual esoterica that happened in history. It's like, I don't really want to listen to a podcast about it.
I feel like for you, if those pieces of media and the people who created them haven't like studied actual real world esoterica, it probably would be boring to you because you're like, these people had this idea already.
Yeah, that's why I don't like a lot of like things that people recommend to me because of wizard shit. Or it's like, yeah, I played
Your
Cultist
expectations get higher.
Well, it's like I played Cultist Simulator. It's a game about being broke as hell and wandering around a city finding esoterica and then like trying to study it enough to like talk about it in a way that you can like not starve to death about. And that's like my job. I don't want to play a game that's just more of my job.
Podcasts are like, it's a crazy concept to me that people listen to podcasts regularly because like once you have a real life 9-to-5 job where you like have to focus on what you're doing, you have to budget your time really carefully in order to do anything that you enjoy.
To Devilish Reaper, I'm not friending you. You spent that entire mission like goofing off and not helping me. I'm not friending you.
They were in the corner the whole time joking off.
Literally. I don't want to play
Well, I
this
guess-
video game with you. You weren't very good at it.
Braggart. Scalawag. DNI.
DNI. I don't know. There's a lot, like, honestly, yeah.
Like,
I
podcasts
feel like,
are good for chores and menial work and, like, a commute.
oh, dude,
That's pretty much it.
I figured out audiobooks, and that has changed the game, dog.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't-
can't. If my whole brain is not focused on the audiobook, I zone out and don't absorb it.
See, that's what I think slop is an important part of any balanced media diet. So I'll be reading like real literature, but then also I'll be consuming like elf slop as I'll be consuming elf slop as like an audiobook while I play
I didn't
video
know
games.
you
or
liked elf
something.
slop.
I think Discworld is technically elf slop, but it's like the elf slop
That's controversial.
it's the elf slop that all other elf slop is trying to be.
I
know,
see.
Like everyone is trying to be Terry Pratchett, where they're like
Right.
influenced by somebody who is influenced by Terry Pratchett, and so that's where you get the modern elf slop landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like medically pure elf slop.
Primo elf slop. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Chemically separated elf slop.
it's good, but also like Terry Pratchett is he's a wit. He's a very fun, engaging writer. It's just fun to hear him talk about stuff. A lot of it is just him roasting someone. It's like there's a lot of bits in Discworld that are like it's clear that someone just pissed off Terry Pratchett earlier that day and he's like making fun of them with his elf slop, which I think is
That's
kind of
funny.
fun.
That's a little Shakespearean. I enjoy that.
Yeah. No, he's a bit of a trickster, a bit of a wit. He likes boner jokes, that type of thing. But he was also like a journalist, and so he's able to, when he needs to be serious, he's able to be serious. I think that's where a lot of like young elf slop authors kind of fuck it up, is like when they need to switch over into
Right. It's the tone switch.
when they need to make it about something, they don't really understand how to make that transition, and then they end up like the metaphor gets confused and they end up implying that elf racism is good or something. That never
They do in
happens in
Overwatch.
Discworld. Yeah.
You never want to pull an Overwatch.
Yeah. Writing bad satire is very easy. Writing good satire is the hardest thing in the world. Yup.
Yeah.
That's why I think Jingo is one of the best Discworld books. That book is hilarious.
I haven't read any of them. I should.
What happens in Overwatch? Well, it's implied that robots in universe are like a metaphor for oppressed minorities, right? They like live
They
in
do the
slums.
Detroit Become Human thing.
Yeah, they live in slums and they're used as like slave labor and whatnot. One of the characters you can
oppressed.
play as is like Robot Gandhi, like supposed
Yeah.
to be like Robot MLK. And then later they added they added a game mode that's like the Horde mode, where you just like play as young versions of a lot of the characters and you just mow down endless waves of the robots, implying that you're just like a cop who's just endlessly slaughtering civil rights protesters.
The robots are an oppressed class in Overwatch, and it's because the robots and the humans had a war years ago where the robots were evil. And so there are characters in the game that are like racist toward the robots, and the robots did wage a war and were evil and had glowing red eyes.
Yeah, they like nuked Australia,
Yeah.
and now
They
they're
did
like,
a Detroit Become Human, where they were like a subclass of people, but actually they were like kind of secretly evil, some of them.
yeah, exactly. They always make that mistake. Yeah, Ramatra literally did nothing wrong. He's literally right. Like
He's like the what's the by any means possible?
Malcolm
what's
X.
his name? Yeah, he's like the Malcolm X of Overwatch. I was trying to remember his name, and I thought of that picture where they put a little Democrat badge on him,
Right, and
and he was
like
holding
they
a voting
scribble out
ballot
the
by
machine
any
gun.
votes possible.
They scribble out the machine gun and draw a little voting ballot in his hand. By any
By any
votes
votes possible.
necessary.
Right, thank you.
They drew the little Democratic Party badge on his chest.
Oh, so good. Fallout did that too. Fallout 4 did that same thing. Why do medias that can't handle the nuances of racism always try to do the nuances of racism?
Because that's literally how, like, the average, like, okay, I've for a while I literally lived near Blizzard headquarters, and I would like overhear Blizzard devs talking about shit. Like,
oh my god, really?
That's their actual understanding of politics.
Oh no.
Where they're like,
oh no.
well, some of them went too far. Because you gotta remember.
No, I hear it in their voices now. I've met like 30 guys like this.
Yeah, it's like they're very like nice people who just don't know anything.
Yeah.
They just don't, like, they're not actively racist. They just have never
malicious.
thought about anything. Yeah, no, it's like
they're just kind of stupid.
they're like, I'm sure they're the most interesting person in the world to talk about like video games with, to talk about like game design with. I'm sure they have really interesting things to say and think and feel about that. But they also low-key think that like it's, you know, white people won the race war and black people should just maybe stop talking about it. Like,
They do think that black people commit more crimes on average. Yeah, that is
Right.
what they believe.
but passively, in a really naive way, where I'm sure if you
Right.
just like asked them about it and told them that's not true, they'd be like, oh, okay. Like, they'd just be
You
completely...
gotta link them to a Reddit article though for them to agree with you,
Li-
like a
like,
really upvoted Reddit
These
page.
are the type of people that video essays are for.
Yes, absolutely. The
Like-
kind of people who will be swayed by a video essay.
Like, just the type of people who've never thought about this in their life, and they just need a nice white Canadian lady in front of a camera to explain that Zootopia was a little racist. And why, and the history of like why that happened, right? Blizzard devs are who all that shit is for. They're bereft of Gorm, Candy. They need Gorm.
Your goal in life, all of your exploits, all of your lessons that you strive to learn should be filling the hole in your body with Gorm. You are Gorm. You are born Gormless. You should, before you die, become Gormful.
You should die Gormful. You should die Gorm stuffed.
You should die gorged on Gorm.
Yeah, I was literally thinking of Bright in chat. Do you remember Bright, Candy? Have we talked about this? I'm sure we have, because I'm
Is that
obsessed
a Disney
with it.
movie?
No, it was like a Netflix original show from like 2014, where it was like, what if orcs and elves were in like modern day LA, and the
Will Smith one.
yeah, the Will Smith one, and like in the first like 5 minutes of the show, he finds a bunch of fairies on his lawn, and he like kills one. He goes like, fairy lives don't matter today, and then he kills one with a shovel.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god! I
It's-
can't believe that made it to air.
It's literally like everything I learn about this show is like, how was this on TV? And then I talked to my dad about it, and he's like, I liked that. He's like, I didn't really think much of it. I was like, you didn't watch that and think it was fucking crazy?
You didn't think much of it? Do you think?
It's like, my dad has 3 college degrees. Like,
I totally believe that too. Like, if Sanity hadn't had like transgender friend intervention, that is the path he would have been on.
yes.
You know?
Yeah, dude, the orcs were dressed like Crips. Like, they weren't.
Oh,
They weren't
Jesus.
just wearing football jerseys. They had like every orc, no matter what they did or where they
Like
worked.
bandanas and
bandanas,
sag
sagging
pants.
pants. They had like
God
J's on and
damn.
shit. It was
oh.
within the first 5 minutes. They have like a really well-known black actor look at the camera and go, "Fairy lives don't matter today."
That's fucking. Why did he agree to that?
I don't.
Why?
You gotta take that Netflix.
Will Smith is a paradox, though. He has a lot of, like,
He's been in some shit, man.
conflicting beliefs and actions. He's a strange man. He's like Nick Cage.
It's like literally, I saw a video essay about Bright, and I was like, who allowed this to happen? Like, so, like, do you understand how difficult it is to get anything made in Hollywood ever? The amount of people that had to say yes to this is fucking crazy.
I'm picturing the person giving the pitch in that boardroom, and they have the storyboard up on the projector, and the funding executives are at the table, hands folded, and the guy gestures to the projector, and he reads the line written on the storyboard as the drawing of Will Smith smashes the fairy with the shovel. Fairy lives don't matter today, and 7 of the old white guys in that room cry laughing.
Bright had an anime spin-off? What?
No,
that's not allowed. Bright Samurai Soul?
Samurai
What?
Soul? What?
Are
Okay, I'm opening this article.
Are you fucking shitting over both of my
Bright
nuts?
Samurai Soul is a 2021 adult animated action film. It serves as a spin-off of Bright. Oh my god. In 1868 at Edo Castle.
What?
What are you fucking talking about, dog?
Is a character named Raiden? Okay.
Okay, I'm 2 paragraphs in. An army composed mainly of orcs, goblins, and dwarves raid the brothel and kill the patrons and servants there. Oh my god. This is just a plot summary. The Wikipedia page is almost entirely just a plot summary.
Let me check the Rotten Tomatoes real quick.
On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 40% of 5 critics' reviews are positive with an average rating of 6.2 out of 10.
With a 35 on the audience rating.
Oh, man. Oh, it's a movie. It's not a show. It's
Oh.
a spin-off movie? A one-off spin-off anime movie. Set in Kyoto during the Meiji Restoration.
What an insane way to expand on this.
I guess Will Smith didn't want to come back.
I guess not. I guess not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's probably going to wrap us up for this evening. Who's live right now? Is Holly
What a
still
stream.
live?
No.
Okay.
I don't see anybody I recognize that's live right now.
Okay. I guess we'll just leave you there then. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.